Jarvis did not travel last night to Birmingham just to keep him off of a bus for 5 hours, and I still think it's day to day, but he is making a trip with us, and we actually did some reports on Monday to clear that, make sure he's got nothing deeper like disc or structural stuff, so we still think it's located to the muscle, which gives us more a much more positive outcome where we can push it a little bit and try to get him back. So we'll take him with the thought of hopefully playing, but we got a 6.5 hour bus trip and then get out and move around a little bit, but be slow with it. I would say it's day to day, and if he's not in there, I don't think anybody should be surprised. And if he is in there, then that means he's moved around really good and wanted to try it again.
Can't you charter him a plane?
Maybe, but I thought by saving him this trip and taking him down. So now that school's out, we got plenty of time to move and stop in between and do whatever, not having to get to and from and back from class.
Kind of the mentality, the message to the team going down to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, the last 4 games, last night's over. Really look at the totality of the whole season is what I'll pick up today before we get on this bus and head out to Baton Rouge. And that's a team that's won 34 games. It's a team that's won 14 Southeastern Conference games, which you don't fall into that. And so, I know last night's ball game, I did want us to play, a little different, maybe a little more mentally tougher, and we got to hang in there. But I love where our team is. If we'd have drawn this up for the season and said you're going to Baton Rouge and you had 2 more series and had a chance to still the potential of getting 20 SEC wins, we're still there for you. We just got to play one game at a time. But we're down to 2 SEC series, and we're playing for something, and we couldn't ask for anything more than that. So that'll be the message for the team is every really good ball club goes through some adversity. I'm hoping that this does nothing but galvanizes our ball club, makes it stronger, because we really haven't been through this before. This has been different for us. We feel like we've been built for weekend series. I'll talk about how we need to play in all 3 phases. If we get right back to dominating the routine play, if we get back to having good at bats like we're capable of, and Thompson and Mize goes out and they get to pitch 4 more games, 2 starts apiece, and you want your best players to play great when you get to this point in the season. So that's what we have to look forward to. So that'll be my thought: getting on the bus and heading to Baton Rouge.
Rotation the same as last week?
No, we're going to give them all the guys a day. We're going to start Andrew Mitchell tomorrow night, and then go Thompson, and we will go Mize on Saturday, being these next 2 weeks are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I did not want to short because of the rain out and because the 2 guys threw on Saturday, the doubleheader. I didn't want to shorten 2 days. So we think this gives us the best shot to be able to do that. Andrew Mitchell started for us. I think their 2 best hitters are left-handed. So hopefully he can go out and give us a Mississippi State start or, the 5 innings like he did to Arkansas back-to-back weeks. And it keeps these guys from having to shorten their outings too much where, Keegan went 8 innings, and we think him and Casey. I think Casey now having a start, coming back, could have a full start. So that's what we're the most interested in. How can they be the freshest? How can they factor into this weekend to give them their chance to have their longest start? So we'll play it that way. And what that'll do with Davis is definitely keep him as a major factor. And but we'll just piggyback him behind one of those starters probably on Friday or Saturday. So we expect Davis to still have a huge factor in this weekend and believe in him. But I think with the Thursday start, I think Andrew gives us a good shot, and I think Davis can help us out of the bullpen behind either Keegan or Mize, depending on how the game, what the score is, what the situation is when Keegan leaves the ball game or when Casey leaves.
I guess that's a big deal for Andrew having started off down there.
Yeah, I think so. We were looking at the computer, the tickets with compliance this morning, and looks like he's got his, his family, his extended family, his cousins, his whoever else, all planning to be there in Baton Rouge. Hopefully, Andrew's seen enough now and mature enough to know this is about making pitches and helping his ball club. And of course, I believe that's the case, or he wouldn't get this opportunity. But in some way he'll be able to look back, after this is over, and that'll be a special night. But I did see where a lot of his family's coming to be with him, and it's really not, hey, start Andrew because you're going to LSU. It's really because that's our next starter up, and that's how we've used him. So, but it's kind of neat to work out that way, and I hope it is for him. But he just needs to focus on making pitches and getting us off to a good start.
Butch, what would it mean to have a left-handed pitcher step up and really pitch well late in the season and into the postseason for you?
Well, this will be a weekend where that's a great question, because now that if you're going to use Andrew to start a ball game, the next guy up, we've kind of planted in that role, and he's doing just a little bit more and more, is Elliot Anderson. So, I really think Dykeman and Duplantis are probably a couple of better hitters if you look statistically across the boards and what they've gotten done for LSU. And, you might want a left-handed pitcher to be able to compete against their two best there. So, Elliot Anderson's the first one that comes to my mind. And then with us just anatomically not having another left-hander, the next guy comes in the category who's gotten left-handed hitters out the best. And you've seen the advent now of Kevin Davis a little bit, and you think he can do a little bit versus left-handed hitters. And you just look at the splits. But, Elliot Anderson's probably our first lefty that we want to keep coming on, and he's doing fine and really done some good stuff, I think, back since the Troy game for us. And getting in ball games, had a really big moment at Mississippi State and threw again last night. So he's really helping the ball club, and we'll need him being the only lefty. And then it'll have to be a right-hander after that once we get past him or use him all that we're willing to. And, start thinking about somebody like Kevin Davis being a guy that maybe hadn't pitched any for us really to speak of, but somebody can help us with trying to get a lefty out.
Is Daniel Robert back to full strength now, you think, or is it still a concern there?
I know he can play every day, and we've got some we're really comfortable with that. I think he's going to have some discomfort. I don't think he can hurt himself anymore. And I think between the doctors and with Daniel, I think are comfortable with that. So our ball club's better with him, and he's willing to go out and compete, have the understanding. You got the pinch hit off the bench on Sunday, I believe, and then played in right field last night. So one thing I know from, always in the 7 teams that have been to a World Series at every ball club, and then being in the SEC 15 years in a row, you get to this point in time, everybody's got, if it's your pinky toe or whether it's your thumb or somewhere top to bottom, if you've been a day in and day out player and you've played your heart out the way our guys have, you're going to have a little something. And I'm comfortable now. It was really the unknown last weekend, and now with having the known, I think we know that we can push, and he's just like everybody else dealing with a little something, but I think he's really one of our leaders. He's a guy that stepped up last night, and, I'll never get upset at my team if they don't come through with a big hit, that's more the physical. Whenever you hear me say anything about my team where we need to do a better job, it's usually always going to be with the mental. So they're pushing, and Daniel's pushing, and I think for us to get right back in the middle of what we've done for, 40-plus games, he's got to be in the middle of it.
What is it? Can you put your finger on what caused this rash of double plays you guys have been hitting into the last 4 games?
No, I can't.
Is it an approach at the plate, or is it?
I don't know. In a lot of ways, I think we got the same approach. I think we played a lot of innings in a short duration. I think balls that went through are now hit hard. Sometimes the easiest double plays are very hard hit balls, and I don't think you'd ever walk up to a hitter and say, "Hey, don't hit it so hard." Maybe if we start trying hard, that's why you can't go there, because then you go like, all right, be careful what pitch you're going after, and that just starts bleeding into something. Whenever you start trying to affect change, when a young man only has 0.4 of a second to decide ball, strike, in, out, up, down, you're asking for it from my experience. So I think you keep playing. I think you keep trying to get a good pitch to hit. I think you keep trying to understand that when you're on the mound, this is 9-on-1, and I got a group around with me, because when it's going really good for you, that's the sense that you have when you're pitching, that I'm not on an island having to do all this by myself. And I think when your lineup's rolling good offensively, you're not one guy up there like, I got to get a hit here, or else. You have a feeling that, hey, if I don't get this done, the guy right behind me's got it. And when we get a 9-on-1 mentality, which we've done an excellent job of this season, back with our offense, back with a pitcher that's on the mound, you know, we'll be right back in the middle of what we were doing.
But you've done this for over 20 years in this league. Is there a specific reason why the umpiring has been weird? Because I just don't think it's been your games. Like, it's the same dudes that you've known for 20 years.
Yep, all good men. It has been a unique season. I guess I'll, you know, leave it at that. I you know, that's one of the things that I probably, with my ball club, of like, hey, play the game. And when I, you know, almost with me, like last night, you know, I need to be able to speak truth, and when I have a feeling, for my players to be able to understand that mentally. I just thought a couple of times last night we start worrying too much about the umpire. We've almost crossed the line to where we worry about that, and we cannot, and get back to the, you know, for us to get back to the tenets of playing the game we want to. But you know, I think that's a great lesson for us too. Is you know, I got to continue to try to fight for our ball club. If I need to do more, if I need to have to leave a game or exit a game, I'll do whatever I got to do. I'm not sure that's the answer in my heart, but you know, that's pretty important. And what I think the statement I'll make is, as we continue to grow, I'll go to instant replay now in the video review. As we continue to have this conversation and these events come up that we're not happy with, as a group of umpires, as a group of coaches, as a group of fans, for SEC baseball to continue to grow, we will have to continue to put some measures in place, because we're still in the infant stage of this video review. You look at more advanced features and you see more of you got challenges, you have all those things in place that makes me think about, I don't think I can get yesterday back or last week back, but if we're Stewart and we want this thing to continue to get better, my push would be more for, we've got to institute this. You know, we've got to get to where a coach, if he's convicted and feels like he's right, you know, give us a challenge. And I think that was the one thing that I typed up. I'm comfortable saying that. Typed up to have submitted to please, you know, let us vote on having a challenge. But, you know, I go back to Sunday and I still look at where we had 4 other chances to win the ball game. I'm not going to make it about one thing. I'm never going to do that. But I want to continue I want Auburn baseball to keep growing, be blessed, but we want to continue to make changes that make our game better and continue to make our league the best in America, which it is today. But we have to continue to keep pushing it forward.
Hacker has, I guess, been the starting catcher for 3 of these teams. Has he kind of moved into the #1 guy, or is it just a?
No, because I think that'll play out. You had a couple of weekends where he caught 2 out of 3, and the next weekend Blake caught 2 out of 3. You feel like Keegan and Blake kind of grew up together, so they're connected in that manner. And Casey and Hacker is you know, connected. So I really talked to Andrew. Andrew will have some say in who goes with him. We'll probably spend some time talking about that tonight when we get to practice. But they've it seems like Blake's been set with Keegan and Mize with Hacker, and then we've just kind of played off of it from there. They both caught half a game, it seemed like Sunday, so it's kind of a toss-up there.
Offensively, kind of a push.
Yep, right now it is. But we feel like they're 1A and 1B.
Right.
That's probably the honest assessment. We feel like both of them can go in and play, you know, biggest game we got, we feel like we, you know, would have to really look at 1A and 1B, which guy you want to have catch. They both bring a lot to the table.
I'm impressed with that Hacker, who's never really been a catcher.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him all year.
To ball into it.
Yeah. He's got a great baseball brain. He's got a great mentality, too. He really serves the pitchers well. And mechanically, technique-wise, he's really grown as the years went along. So he's done a phenomenal job.
Butch, I wanted to ask you about LSU.
Yeah.
What's going to be the key to go down there and play well, and where do they do best?
You know what? I just think they're a good ball club. You know, there's both of us. You know, I think they have 15 wins. We have 14 wins. We both have a lot to play for. It'll be an unbelievable environment. You know, I think we've played on the road in a couple of really big environments already this year. Hopefully that serves us well. But to me, it's just that's what this SEC baseball is all about. You know, hopefully we can match them on the mound. They got two stalwarts in their rotation there. They have some veteran players. I start thinking about the two left-handed hitters that I mentioned earlier, Robertson at shortstop. And I don't know. I think the two teams match up pretty even. I don't know. I think whoever plays the best, but I know they're playing baseball pretty good and starting to feel like they're hitting a rhythm. We need to do the same. We need to feel like that you know, we're getting right back on track and getting after it. But a huge series, and just like always, I guess I've been down there 7 or 8 times, and it's a great, fun environment. It's kind of what you sign up for. But our guys will enjoy that experience, and we want them to.